If you're looking for a book that falls under the categories of women's short stories that is about 36 pages, this book by Alice Hoffman will do it. It is titled The Bookstore Sisters, the Once Upon a Time Bookshop series. I listened to it with the Kindle Unlimited Read and Listen program. Y'all know at this point I'm like borderline addicted to it. So, this book overview says Isabel Gibson has all but perfected the art of forgetting. She's a New Yorker now with nothing left to tie her to Brinkley's Island, Maine. Her parents are gone, the family bookstore is all but bankrupt, and her sister Sophie will probably never speak to her again. But when a mysterious letter arrives in her mailbox, Isabel feels herself drawn to the past. After years of fighting for her independence, she dreads the thought of going back to the island. What she finds there may alter her path and change everything she thought she knew about her family, her home, and herself. Now, Isabel, I feel like, is kind of the black sheep of the two sisters. Isabel is the sister where she does what she wants to do and not I feel like she gets a bad rap. Okay, I feel like she's considered selfish when really she's actually just putting herself first. Um I think Isabel is often expected to do the quote unquote right thing, but I don't think some family members realize how much doing the right thing is kind of very self sacrificing and that can be to the detriment of your mental health. When her mother passes away, she's super young. Her sister and her are a few years apart in age. So the way that they handled the mother passing as a child was two different things. Her sister kind of sort of was more so spending time with mom in the room with her, whatever. Isabel was more kind of withdrawn and didn't really spend time with her mom actually in the room up until like that last day because her sister took her in there with her. And I feel like as they get older, her and her sister's relationship changes. They become more distant, they become more separate because when their father ultimately passes away, the discussion becomes what do we do at the bookstore? Isabel is feeling like, let's get rid of it. Her sister's feeling like, why would we get rid of it? We promised dad that we would keep it, we would do this, we would do that. Isabel's feelings is, I was 10 years old when I promised that. I'm a grown woman now with a career in New York. I don't want to stay on this island. I don't want to run this bookstore. That was dad's thing. That was my thing when I was a kid, and I used to enjoy reading books and I used to enjoy certain things. Why should I have to honor a promise that I made when I was 10? And she literally asks her sister, should I keep eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day because that's what I loved when I was 10? Like, if we're going to take this all the way there, let's take it there. Let's just run it all the way. And I don't blame her for that because I was originally a New Yorker. I now live in Tennessee. I did up and move across the country. And I don't regret it. I got so much slack from my family for doing it. Um, when it's time for, the sister's husband passes away, and Isabel does come. Is she a little late to the funeral? Yes, but she caught the very last ferry. She came, like she came. She came. Could she have come earlier? Yes, she could have. But at the same time she came. And I think sometimes we beat a dead horse. Well, why weren't you here sooner? Well, why weren't you this? Why weren't you that? If someone shows up, they showed up. That is your husband that passed. And that sounds horrible because you should think like, oh, you should be supportive of your sister. Her husband just passed. Yes, but this woman also hasn't been back to the island in some time. She hasn't been back to Maine in some time. So I think people don't take in consideration when you have moved away and you've removed yourself so much from your hometown. Sometimes it takes a lot of mental energy to actually follow through with coming back. And I feel like people don't realize that. Like, if you always stayed in your hometown, your thought is probably, well, why doesn't Susan come back to visit? Why doesn't so and so come back to visit more often? Why does it always have to be on bad terms for them to come back? Sometimes people have moved and evolved so much that they don't want to go back to the place where you guys have them confined in this little box. Oh, you just remember them as like your little sister that used to do whatever that irritated you, and the world sees them as something completely different. And sometimes it's hard for people to go back to this little place where you have me confined in this idea, and I'm a whole blossoming tree now. You see me as this little flower, but I'm a whole willow tree now. That's hard for some people. She shows up to the funeral, and everyone kind of is looking at Isabel like, so you're late? She even tells her sister, like, listen, I'm here to support you. Her sister gives her slack. Like, her sister is pregnant. She doesn't really realize in the moment. Her sister kind of gets on her case so much that she borderline feels backed into a corner. And her sister's like, well, are you going to move back? Are you going to help me? Are you my sister or are you not? Us being blood related does not mean I have to give up everything that I have built in another state for me just to sit here and support you. It doesn't mean that. I can support you in many different ways, but me uprooting my entire life and moving back here, that's not necessarily the way to go. Now, Isabel could have handled it a lot better. She literally told her sister, like, I'm sorry that Matt died. I'll be here to support you until you get over Matt. That's not the correct wording. Okay. There's a way to say it, and that's not the way you say it. And she didn't mean it in a bad way. It just came out. It just came out. She did not mean like, hurry up and get over your dead husband, sis, because I'm ready to go back to New York. Like, she didn't mean it like that. But once you say something out of your mouth, it can't be, you can't put once you squeeze all the toothpaste out the tube, you can't put it back in. It's just gone. Her sister gets pissed. Isabel goes upstairs and she's like, well, fuck it. I might as well just go to the bar and have a drink. One drink turns into a few drinks. She ends up flirting with some men at the bar, having her a good time. And I kind of relate to Isabel because, like, what better way to get over my grief than I'm already dressed? I already look good. I might as well go flirt with the men at the bar. Now, she wakes up the next morning, okay? And her sister's like, her sister basically tells her, like, if you're gonna sit here and sleep with multiple men, if you're gonna sit here and sleep with men, you need to know what you're doing, and da 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 da. And come to find out, she didn't even sleep with the man. Like, maybe she was gonna try to, but my girl was a little too. She was too lit. She was a little too, what do you call it? Incapacitated? Is that the word for it? Drop the word below if I'm not saying it correctly or if I'm thinking of something. Point is, my girl was tore up from the floor up, okay? She had drank too much. And her sister gets on her so bad that instead of her waiting for the ferry, she decides to just dip and leave. So when she gets this letter like 10 years later in the mail saying your sister needs your help, she's kind of like, I ain't talked to my sister in 10 years. Should I be going to go help her? Should I come to her rescue? My sister's health is kind of whatever. Should I try this again? Because when I came 10 years ago, I kind of was met with a lot of slack in mouth. So should I be doing this all over again? This story was a very cute story. I think it touched on a lot of the aspects of family relationships in just the less than 40 pages that it had. I think it really did a good job. If you've read a book by this author and there's other titles I should be checking out, drop the title below. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe, follow button. You're missing out because I drop book reviews all week long. I drop videos of books that are on my to be read list because I love reading books. I'm consuming books on Kindle Unlimited. I'm reading physical books from the library. I'm also listening to books on Libby. Libby is an app that allows you to plug in your library card and listen to books for free or even read books for free. Keep the libraries alive. Do not defund the libraries. People like me need them, okay? Because I'm not paying for an Audible subscription and I'm not paying for audiobooks either, all right? It's just too much. I'm already paying for Amazon Prime. I'm already paying for Kindle Unlimited. I'm paying for Stars at this point. It's just a lot and I can't handle it. So there's that. My book, My Favorite Ex, is still available on Kindle Unlimited. Not Kindle Unlimited, on Kindle, Amazon, Kobo, Libby, and a bunch of other platforms for free. I don't know if I said Barnes and Nobles. It's out there for free. It's the point being, it's just my way of saying thank you to everyone who has supported me. Support comes in so many different forms, whether you signed up to do an author interview with me, if you hit share on one of my videos, if you hit share on one of my books, if you liked a book and you purchased it, or if you just, I don't know, even dropping a comment below. Just sending a message sometimes is enough support. Sending a message, I read your book and I enjoyed it. I watched your video and I enjoyed it. Thank you for reviewing my book. That is support, okay? Little me likes that. I enjoy it. So there's that. My other book, I Turned His Sister Out in Texas, is still free as well. That's my second thank you. We'll see if we hit a third thank you before the year is over. But it's just my way of thanking people because I have been putting out content for 7 years now. It's been 7 years. And I feel like, for the most part, I've been very well received. Do I have 1 million subscribers? No. Do I have 10,000 subscribers? Not yet. We're working on it. We're working on it. If you share my content, maybe I can get there faster. So You can always hire me to promote your books as well. I am a book promoter. You can go to my website at alsabrooks.com. It's ALSABROOKS.com. I can help you get your book on a billboard in a city near you. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video.